So Outkast once turned down the Super Bowl because they wanted to have the songs done in entirety. Back when Hey Yeah and Like the Way You Move, and I think Big Boy ended up doing it in 2019 as a part, but Andre 3000 didn't partake. How big of a deal was this? Well, Outkast is a very unique situation for hip hop. Now, I'm gonna tell you a story I'm noticing. Sometimes when I watch these cats talk about them in hindsight, they don't want to give them their due because they thought maybe they crossed over, they were too big, too pop. People always got something snark or smart to downplay how big Outkast was. They're one of the most important hip hop acts ever, groups, duos, however you want to put it. They were game changers, and they were huge, and they crossed over. And hey, they were unique in the regard that they didn't necessarily go the way; it just kind of came their way. It really did. They just happened to be catchy in the songs. They weren't one of the ones that necessarily sought after. Now they haven't performed together in aliens, and they kind of were like the Shaq and Kobe of the 21st century. Because you think about, it, especially in that duo, that duo that you wanted to see, that duo that you were hoping that would last. And, Big Boy still raps. Andre's been doing flute albums or whatever he doing. And, but it's not quite the same. But he said he didn't want to be pushing 50 rapping. And that's his choice. And I understand it. I get it. He been there, done that, came up big. And what else would he do? Because he hit the apex. And did they hit the apex big? I mean, they had a diamond selling duo split album. They were dominant. They were one of the most important musical acts of the last 25 years. So what else would you expect them to do? I mean, they really, but as far as they're doing the Super Bowl, they said they didn't want to cut the songs down. They didn't want to do the way the way you move or Hey Yeah or something like that in half. I agree. If you don't want to get caught doing the Vegas chop thing, then you don't do that. You don't do that. You don't make it into something that's half-hearted, because then it becomes corny, and then it becomes something that is kind of like a joke and absurd. So I get it. I'm so with that. You want to make sure you give the totality and that you put your best foot forth when you're performing on that stage. Very important, very integral, just one of those things that you really try to do. And so it would have been great to have seen them in their peak and their prime performing on there. They would have been probably one of the few hip hop acts I think have pulled it off. And I say a few, if you ask me,